I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm typically a very private person, but not today. I am going to be sharing with you my experience coming off the birth control pill. When I made the decision to come off the birth control pill, I really did not know what to expect at all. And I didn't feel like I had a lot of resources that I could turn to see what would happen, what changes there would be. So I wanted to make this video for anyone that has considered coming off the pill and may be wary to do so because they don't know what to expect. So I had been on the pill for, I believe, around 13 years. I think I started my first prescription when I was 16, maybe 16 or 17. I started out, I believe, on tricycline, and then a few years later I was switched to tricycline low, and then my most recent prescription was for Tricera low. I started taking the pill when I was 16 or 17 because I wanted pregnancy protection while having sex, so it was just a contraceptive. And I did not want to have a baby when I was in my late teens or early 20s. I definitely did not want to do that. So for me, it was a way to put control in my hands rather than just relying on my partner to do so. It was a way that as a female I could protect myself from pregnancy when I definitely did not want to get pregnant. So about a year ago, I started having thoughts about coming off the pill. I want to share why I decided to come off the pill, and I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet because I've tried to film this a few times and I'm just rambling on and on, so I'm going to try to be concise. So reason number one that I came off the pill is because I wanted to be able to entertain the idea of getting pregnant if my partner and I decided that we wanted to. Being on the pill, obviously, it prevents you 99% from becoming pregnant. So I am now in my late 20s, I'm almost 30, and we are considering the idea of trying for children. We haven't decided one way or the other yet, but I wanted the possibility to be there if one night or one day I just decided, you know what, I'm ready, let's try to have a baby. I just wanted to be able to do that and not have something blocking me. And also, this is just completely personal preference. This is no judgment on any other person who has been on the pill and came off and then tried to have children. My personal preference was that I did not want to come off the pill on a Sunday and start trying to have kids on a Monday. I felt that I had been taking something into my body for 13 years. And so I wanted to give my body time to kind of get back into its natural rhythm before I would start trying to have children. I have no medical backing for that, no scientific backing, so I'm not passing any judgment on any person that came off the pill and immediately started trying to have a baby. Every person's choice is their own. People can get pregnant while they're on the pill, so obviously, like, it's not a big deal medically or scientifically, but it was just my preference that, to me, it just felt like I wanted to give my body some time to get into a natural rhythm, and that just felt what was right for me before I would even consider trying to have children. So I wanted to come off the pill because I wanted the opportunity to be there at some point in the future if we did decide that we wanted to try to have children. I just felt like I wanted to give my body some time to get into a place where I would feel okay about trying to have children. The second reason that I came off the pill is because a few people that I follow on YouTube and Instagram, they were coming off their birth control pills, and not because they were trying to have children, but just because they wanted to stop taking drugs. And I just kind of had this awakening, this realization that for my whole adult life, I have been taking a pharmaceutical drug every single day. Every single day for 13 years. I had been putting a drug in my body. And I just had this kind of like awakening moment where I realized, like, I have never known what it felt like to just be in my own body with my own hormones. Like, I didn't even know how birth control was impacting my moods, like my feelings, my physical attributes, nothing. Like, it's all I had ever known, and I never knew my body or my moods or anything without that drug being in my system. And so I just felt like I'm at a place now where if I did accidentally get pregnant, that my life would be okay. I wouldn't be turned upside down like I would have been if I was 18 or 22 at that point when I really, really didn't want children. Like at this point, if I accidentally did get pregnant because I'm off the pill, then that would be okay. So I felt like I was in a place where I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know, basically. I wanted to experiment and I wanted to know like what would change. If I was not on the pill, what would change? So I talked with my husband and I decided that I wanted to come off the pill. And I did. So I'm going to share with you all the things I have noticed since I came off the pill. And I'm going to be honest with you, there are some gory details in here. This video is really intended for my girlfriends. If there are any men watching this, I mean, you do you, I guess, for educational purposes. Maybe it'll help you in your life with the women in your life, but this video is definitely intended for my girls, just to help you out and just to share my honest experience. So let's just get right into it because I can feel my cheeks are already getting hot. So let's just start talking about it. One of my biggest fears coming off the pill was that I would get extremely bad cramps. For my whole life, I have not been someone who got really bad cramps. Honestly, my periods overall have been, I think, decent. Of course, sometimes I get really bad cramps, like occasionally throughout the day, I might get like a really piercing one. But I had friends who would get like debilitating cramps, like they'd have to miss school for a day because they were in so much pain. And I never had that experience. So I was very afraid that coming off the pill, my periods would be like way, way worse and I would have really severe cramping. That did not happen. I would say that my cramps are the same as they've ever been. So there was no major change for me in terms of cramping. I still have the same level. Like I still have occasional cramps. My stomach might sometimes feel like nauseous or uncomfortable, the same way it always did. So thankfully, no major differences and no more intense cramping than before. Something that is so unexpected for me that I had never heard about, and maybe lots of people experience this and I just never did when I was on the pill, but either the week before or the week of, for a few days in one of those weeks, I am dead to the world. I am so tired. Like the first few times it happened to me, I didn't know what was wrong. Like I didn't know if I was sick. I didn't know if I just stayed up way too late. Like literally my head will hit the pillow and I'm out. And it's just like I'll come home from work and I'm done. Like I don't do anything the whole night because I'm just so tired. And I realized like after the first few times, after I had my first few periods being off the pill, I realized that it was either like the week right before or the very first few days of my period. Usually it's the week before. So at some point during the week before, I get exhausted. So that's new. And I'm just thinking that must, I don't know why. Maybe because my body's preparing or what it's going through naturally. But yes, so that is something new, that for a day or two each month before my period, I am extremely tired. Okay, this is the worst one to talk about, but I just want to get it out of the way because it's not something that I ever normally would talk about. And here I am saying it to the whole world. So yeah, let's just get it over with. I want to talk about flow. My flow is much heavier now on my first 2 days than it was when I was on the pill. So when I was on the pill, I would start on a Sunday night and then usually my period would end on Thursdays. So it was pretty short and I really didn't have like any kind of super heavy days. Like the first 2 days, of course, are always heavier, but I didn't have any kind of like extreme heavy flow, nothing like that. I just would say like it was pretty consistent and then it would just peter off. But now definitely there has been a change. Yeah, my first day or two, like especially the first day, but I would say for 2 days, my flow is a lot heavier now than it was before. It's not like a major inconvenience. It's just a change that I've noticed that you might just want to be aware of. There's a lot of talk about birth control and weight gain, or birth control and moods. In terms of weight gain, I haven't noticed anything physically about my body that is different. There's been no physical changes. Not that I would be able to like directly say that birth control caused it or not anyway, but I'm just letting you know that I haven't noticed anything physically, like in terms of my appetite or weight gain or anything like that. I haven't seen any kind of changes in either a positive or a negative direction. There's been no change there. For my moods, I have always had my moods impacted by my period. I think, like most women, I definitely am more irritable when I'm on my period. Absolutely. That has not changed. I am, especially for like the first couple of days, like I'm extremely irritable. And I am also very emotional, but I have always been that way. Like Brandon could say something so innocent, so yeah, nothing important whatsoever, and it could just be the tipping point that sends me over the edge. So I have always been very emotional and quite cranky, at least in the first few days of my period. And so I don't personally think that I am a more extreme version of that. I would say I'm still cranky and I'm still emotional, just like I was when I was on the pill. There is another change that I'm going to mention, and it is that I'm just gonna throw it out there. My sex drive has gone up. I can't say that coming off the pill caused that change. So I don't have any medical or scientific research to support that. All I can say is there is a correlation between me coming off the pill and me feeling in the mood more often. And it may be other factors that are like playing into that, but I will say, like, I came off the pill, I think it was last fall, so it was probably like 8-ish months ago, 6 or 8 months ago, and I have felt like I definitely see a change. Brandon sees a change in me since, for like at least 6 months. Like I have definitely had a change, and maybe it may be other factors, but there's a correlation there. And I can't help but feel that maybe it has something to do with the hormones. Like maybe the fact that I'm allowing my natural hormones to flow, maybe that's having an impact. I can't say what the actual reason is, but I will just say that things have changed for the better. Another important consideration for me in coming off the pill was being able to track my period. I was on a 28-day pill cycle. I always knew when my period was coming. I was able to plan my vacations around my period. So coming off the pill, that was something that was like a major deterrent for me, because I thought, basically just for vacation purposes, I thought, well, now I'll have no way of knowing when I'm going to be on my period, and I don't want to end up going down south in a bikini all week and being on my period the whole time. So that was something that was a little bit concerning to me. However, I know that there are tons of apps that you can download where you can track your period. And when I first was deciding on coming off the pill, I did download one of those apps to check it out. And I really had felt like I would absolutely use one, and I had every intention to do it. But then I just had this uneasy feeling about this app having all of my information. You have to take your temperature a few days in a row, and you give them a lot of data so that it can accurately track and predict your periods. And so I just felt uneasy about that. I just kind of came to this realization that, like, it's just going to be what it is. I'm okay with not knowing exactly when my period is going to come. And to be brutally honest, like when I go on vacation, yes, I try to plan my vacation dates. Like I book my flights and book my vacations around when my period is supposed to come. But usually when I go on vacation, I have a time zone change. So my body's already thrown off a little bit by that. So usually I'm taking my pill at a very different time than I normally would. And One of the most important things when you are on the pill is to take it at the same time every day. And when I go on vacation, I often forget the first night, or I take it like super late, and I'm taking it at all different times. And often my period starts early anyway, or I'm like spotting anyway. So really, like, at this point, if I end up going on vacation and I get my period, it's just going to be what it is, and I'm just going to deal with it and have fun anyway. So I decided not to use any kind of an app. I don't track anything on a calendar. I'm just letting my body do its thing, essentially. It comes when it comes, and it's done when it's done. And it does follow, like, usually I am still within a week or shorter than that. So I haven't really noticed any kind of a change in terms of the length of my period, but I have no idea when it's coming. I only know when my last period was because it ended just like a day ago. I just can kind of feel it in my body, you know, as a woman, that you have like certain feelings. Like often my stomach gets a little bit uncomfortable, or I get really, really tired now right before my period's starting. So I can tell when it's coming, and I just deal with it and move on. So I'm not discouraging anyone from using an app. I think that there are tons of reasons that people do track their periods in apps, especially if you are trying for children. A lot of people find it really helpful to track your period when you're trying for children. But at this point in my life, I have no need to track my period. I have no need to supply that data to a company that I know nothing about and may or may not have my best interest at heart. So I don't see any need to do it. In the future, perhaps I will, but for now, I'm just letting things just kind of run their natural course, and I am happy with that. So overall, I feel really happy about my decision to come off the pill. I did not have any major changes in my body that were really negative that I feared I might. My periods are basically the same length, same amount of discomfort. My moods are essentially the same. My sex drive is better. My flow is worse. And overall, I'm happy with just kind of letting my body run its natural course. And I feel really good about the fact that I'm not taking a pharmaceutical drug every day. And I'm not judging anyone for taking birth control. I absolutely feel that birth control has a time and a place. I'm very happy that I took it for all the years that I did. I'm also very happy now that I'm not taking it. And who knows, in a few years' time, maybe I'll decide that I want to go back on the pill. If my husband and I decided tomorrow that we were certain we do not want to have children, I may look into going on a hormonal contraceptive again, perhaps. But at this current time in my life, where I'm still debating whether or not I would like to have children, I'd like to leave that door open, and I'm just kind of content with where I'm at. I'm certainly not recommending any direction that someone should or should not go off the pill or get on the pill. Absolutely personal. There's so many factors that play into that decision. And I just want to say, I guess, that if you're someone like me who has taken birth control since you were a teenager and you really never knew there was another way, well, just know that there is. So, you know, I never even thought about it as a choice I was making. I thought about it like getting up and drinking water. Like it was part of my day, every single day, in and out. I thought I would probably be on it until I decided I wanted to get pregnant, and then I would come off. It's not necessary for you to be on birth control. It's not a bad thing if you are on birth control, and it's not a bad thing if you come off. So do what feels right for you based on your needs, and just know that, at least in my experience, I didn't suffer any kind of terrible consequences from coming off the pill. I hope for anyone that has been considering coming off the pill, I hope that some of this information was new to you and perhaps helpful, just to get an honest perspective from someone, my honest experience on the changes that I have seen coming off the pill. If you have any questions, please let me know below, and I'll do my best to answer them depending on how personal they are. But yeah, comment those below and I will definitely do my best to answer them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like this video with a like below. Feel free to subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Can anybody say TMI? You we go. We're just gonna get right into it. Auntie Flo is here to share all of her knowledge with you.